Are you an established real estate agent, but you're looking for an alternative to your current brokerage situation? Or maybe you're a newer agent or someone who's just considering getting your real estate license and considering your options and which brokerage would be the best for you to move forward with. Either way, I'd like to share with you some information on why eXp Realty is the largest brokerage on the planet. It's had exponential growth over the past several years and has not only grown nationally but internationally. And since 2009 has blossomed into over 90,000 agents worldwide. Welcome. I'm Mike Castaigne, and I'm here to help you unlock the power of real estate to create the life that you deserve. Through strategic probate, trust, and investment transactions, I focus on delivering maximum returns for my clients and investor partners. Whether you're looking to navigate the complexities of real estate, grow your portfolio, or achieve financial independence, this channel is your go-to resource. For my fellow real estate agents, I provide guidance on boosting your income with an enhanced compensation model, the ability to earn stock equity, and build lifetime residual income. Plus, I share insights into exclusive lead generation strategies and tools you need to thrive with the most agent-centric brokerage in the industry. Join me as we embark on an honest, empowering journey towards your real estate and entrepreneurial goals. If you're ready to grow, learn, and succeed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's make it happen together. My name is Mike Castaigne. I'm a California licensed real estate agent since 2004. And during that time, I've primarily been a part-time real estate agent and worked exclusively for independent brokerages. I've never been affiliated with a traditional franchise brokerage, and recently made the switch to eXp Realty. During the time that I've been licensed, I've also had a W-2 income, which is why I've always worked part-time in real estate. I am currently a captain in the San Francisco Fire Department. However, I will soon be retiring and will transition full-time into real estate. I have a specialty in probate and trust real estate sales transactions, and I'm going to talk about that further later in the presentation. I also hold specialties in accessory dwelling units as well as investment property transactions. And additionally, I am an active real estate investor and invested in over 400 rental units individually as well as through some partnerships. The thing about eXp and how it fits into the real estate space is similar to what's happened to many industries over the last 10 to 15 years as it relates to technological advancements. If you look at your industries that have been staples over the years and companies that traditionally have been brick and mortar based companies, you could see over the last several years how they've been, how the industries have been disrupted by technology. Places like, Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video are no longer around. They're obsolete because companies like Netflix have embraced the technology and adapted to the current business models, and these other companies that I mentioned have been resistant to the change. Netflix, for example, is now 100% streaming, whereas when they started in the DVD space, and it was primarily a mail order type of subscription model, and now it's strictly a streaming service. Um, the music industry has definitely changed. There are no more cassette tapes and CDs, and everything is now streamed through different apps. And Spotify has taken the leadership along with Pandora and Apple Music. Um, the food industry has been disrupted by on-demand services like Uber Eats and DoorDash, and your traditional brick and mortar retail outlets such as Circuit City, the Good Guys, um, the Bed Bath and Beyond, and others have become obsolete, and many of them have gone out of business as a result of Amazon and other contenders in the space and how they've embraced the technology. I heard of statistic or read a statistic recently that over 8,000 traditional big box stores have gone out of business within the past year. And eXp has really pushed the envelope on utilizing cloud-based technology and is threatening our traditional brokerages in the real estate space. And I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm going to talk in detail about that as we progress through the presentation. So the thing that makes eXp Realty very agent centric and is currently breaking the traditional brick and mortar model and the franchise model is for a few different reasons. And we're going to take a deep dive into each one of these areas throughout the presentation. But just to get a snapshot view of it, it's a cloud-based company. There are no brick and mortar. There are no offices. It's primarily a remote workspace. And however, there is dedicated staff and support readily available via technology. And there is a great opportunity for training and coaching that is readily available via the today's technology, replacing the in-person. The majority of the time, traditionally in years past, you would have in-person interaction with your top agents in your brokerage. Now that's achieved via the internet and via technology, as we're going to take a deeper dive into. And one big reason eXp is attracting all the agents that it has in its history of its existence is its powerful compensation model. And there's multiple ways agents can earn income that we will discover throughout this presentation. This eXp is a place for agents to come and really establish themselves in and build a future for themselves and their teams. Agents have the ability to be entrepreneurs and truly invest and own a piece of the brokerage. And I'll go deeper and say that agents can actually invest not only their time, but their money to become owners through purchasing stock, equity, and actually being a owner of the actually public traded company that it is, as well as build their personal brand inside of the eXp framework, but also expand their business how they want to and build a team through the flexibility that eXp offers. And as you can see, eXp is a leader in the major among the major brokerages in the United States. And this is a slide of closed transaction sides and eXp is clearly a leader within the past couple of years of closed transactions on both sides, the buy side and the sell side, compared to your traditional and up and coming brokerages out there. Further evidence shows that eXp is a growth leader amongst agent count. We talked about the tremendous growth that it's been undergoing the past several years, and it's an industry leader in many, many other categories that are very important markers in this industry. So the epicenter of what makes eXp special and gives agents the freedom to work anywhere is what we call eXp World. This is essentially the metaverse of eXp, where agents and brokers and support staff collaborate. There is training and support. And the technology is at the center of all this. You could see by the picture that it's almost like a computer game. Once you log on and to the platform, you develop your own avatar. But just because it looks like a computer does not discount from what service and real-time support and information that you receive. This is a place where you can remotely access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and pretty much get any information or support that you would require. There's over 500 dedicated support staff eXp provides to the agents throughout the world. But this is a place where you go and you can access from onboarding to training to other types of technical support. You could, if you have a need or you need an answer, you will get it in short fashion. If you you can attend over 50 hours a week of live trainings and education by the top brokers and agents in the industry. You can access eXp University, and that has over 300 to 400 hours of on-demand training available. But specific to eXp World, you can, if you had a technical issue, for an example, and you had an issue with your computer, or you didn't understand how to do something with one of the interfaces or platforms, there will be support staff available for you. Your state broker or somebody in the state broker's office is there to offer you support in terms of marketing, transactions, and anything that you would, any type of need that you would have, they're there to help you out. And again, there's no desk fees or overhead costs. This is included in your monthly brokerage fee that we'll talk about later. Further, there's other support arms to eXp World and the eXp cloud-based platform. I mentioned eXp University. We talked about the 50 plus hours of live training available that are scheduled in advance that you can sign up for and attend at your leisure. And the thing about that training is that it's open to everybody. There's no wait list as you might run out of room. Since it's virtual, it's open to everybody. But then there's also, if you can't make the live trainings, there's over 380 hours of on-demand training. And again, this is by top producing agents and brokers who are teaching these classes and providing this information to you. If you are a new agent or you coming into eXp, or you come into eXp and you haven't closed a transaction in the previous 12 months, the company has a mentorship program where you would get paired with a experienced agent, and they would guide and direct you and provide support and guidance through your first 3 transactions to ensure your success and build on your experience. There's many masterminds and task forces that you can be involved with and build community that way. And again, as I said, you have ongoing state broker teams providing support, guidance, and supervision when you need it to ensure smooth transactions, marketings, trainings, and other social events. And this, and a matter of fact, it's even available on the weekends. Every Friday, I receive an email from my state broker telling me who is the broker on call for that weekend, in case the need arises, with other pertinent information and access to resources if they're needed off hours. And this slide just indicates and is an exhibit of how the company is growing globally. As I said, since 2009, the company has grown from 0 agents to over 90,000 agents as of today. And as you can see, since 2019, essentially since COVID hit, the pandemic hit, we've grown exponentially internationally. And as of today, 27 countries are represented inside of the eXp Realty Brokerage. It's a testament to the growth, but as you're going to see, to the business model that this company is providing to its agents. Further, you would think that eXp is just a residential brokerage, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. eXp has several divisions, one of them being if you wanted to branch out in the residential space and become a luxury specialist, who an agent who specializes in the luxury properties. We do have a luxury division that's available for specialized training, coaching, and so forth in the luxury space. Likewise, eXp has a commercial division where residential agents can cross over and sell commercial properties. Likewise, those commercial agents can cross over and sell residential properties. And the beautiful thing about this arrangement is that there's no extra fees for a residential agent drifting over into the commercial space and conducting transactions there. It's all the same fee. And as you'll see later, we do have a commission cap, and the caps are treated equally, to where if you're doing both residential and commercial transactions, both of the commissions that you earn in each of the residential and commercial divisions combined are applied to your yearly cap. And we'll discuss the caps and the commission splits in a little bit. Now, this slide gives you an idea of how eXp is the industry leader in providing multiple streams of income to its agents. And what I have here on the left is 3 different types of income: earned income, portfolio income, and passive income. And then I have 3 different types of places where you could work or be employed at. We have a McDonald's franchise, we have a traditional brokerage, and then we have eXp Realty. And under the McDonald's franchise, if you're an employee, on the top line, you're earning an hourly wage, and that's earned income. And if you're in a traditional brokerage, you earn your earned income through commissions, closed transactions. And likewise, you would earn earned income in eXp through your commissions and closed transactions. Now, when we talk about portfolio income, income through like the stock market and a retirement account, um, you would have to own McDonald's shares. You would have to buy those as a McDonald's employee. You would have to buy those on your own to be in that company. I don't know of any traditional brokers where they award their employees shares of their company um, to grow. And I could be wrong, but it is not my knowledge that any franchise, traditional brokerage, or any small independent mom and pop brokerage provide shares of their company for retirement purposes. Whereas eXp, you could earn shares through various production milestones where I have stock awards listed there. And then they have a voluntary agent stock purchase program where a certain percentage of your earned commission can go towards the purchase of eXp's publicly traded stock, and you could buy it at a 5% discount. And I'm going to discuss that specifically in a later on a slide later in the presentation. And lastly, let's talk about passive income. The only way you're going to earn passive income from a regular business is by owning it, and you have other people working for you. So in a passive income situation in McDonald's, for example, you would have to be the owner of a McDonald's franchise where you have someone who is managing your business for you. And we call that passive income, where you do not have to actually do the work yourself. In a traditional brokerage, maybe the broker owner of the broker is semi-retired, and he or she has a managing broker performing all the management of the franchise. But more times than not, my experience has been that particular broker is in the business of recruiting agents and actively managing their brokerage or brokerages. Unlike eXp, who has a built-in revenue share model that I'm going to talk about later, but real briefly, this is where you could earn several levels deep from agents that you sponsor who come into eXp as agents, and you earn off of their production. And I'm going to talk in depth about that later in the presentation. But you can see that there's 3 different types of income that you can earn, and eXp checks all the boxes, whereas your traditional brokerage does not, and an outside regular job definitely does not. So speaking of income, which is probably why the majority of you are here, is income. And the way I think of it, and what eXp offers, is 4 pillars of income. And the first one is income from your closed transactions, or what we'll call transactional income. And I remember when I started in the as a real estate agent back in 2004, this was an independent small brokerage, mom and pop. The broker was a broker owner. It wasn't associated with a franchise. It was just a small independent broker who him and his wife was the office manager and the account, and the kept the books. And then there was a support staff person, and just a couple, 2, 3, 4 agents working at that brokerage. He did have an office, but more times than not, I worked from home, similar to eXp Realty. This was before remote work was a thing. But nevertheless, I remember my commission split when starting was a tiered commission split system, in that I started at a 60-40 commission split. Whatever I sold, I would keep 60% of the gross commission and have to pay my broker 40% on top of desk fees and things like that. Now that percentage got a little better in my favor. It would go from 60-40 to 70-30 based on my production per year. And the first year it topped out at 70%. And I think in year two, I, depending on my production, I could get up to 80%. But every year it reset and I had to earn my way back up the ladder. Whereas in eXp, all agents earn the same commission split, and it's an 80-20 commission split. And on top of that, there's a $16,000 cap. So when that 20% commission that goes to the eXp, when that 20% equals $16,000, that 80-20 split stops. And now anything beyond that $16,000 cap, the agent will receive 100% of their commissions for the remainder of that year. Whereas at my previous brokerage, I never was able to, there was no cap. If I sold above that, there was no cap. So I would always just be stuck into whatever my split was for the entire year. And then at the end of the year, I'd have to reset at the lower rate and build my way back up. So in essence, you just have to do $80,000 in gross commissions under eXp, and then above that $80,000 in gross commissions, you will keep 100% of your future or your subsequent commissions after that threshold. And to start with eXp, since we're on this page, I'll just go over the startup cost and the ongoing cost. Is there's a $149 one-time startup fee, and then the next month and every subsequent month you just pay $85 a month, and that's your cloud brokerage fee. And on the few next slides, I'm going to show you what's included in that cloud brokerage fee. And that's your, after that $149 startup fee, that's your only ongoing monthly cost, is $85 a month. Then each transaction, there's a couple other costs. There's a $25 transaction review fee that gets paid to your broker, your state broker, who will review those documents. And then there's a $60 E&O, errors and omissions insurance fee. And that risk management fee is capped at $750. And after that, there's no more E&O fee. So there's a cap on that one too. So that's pretty reasonable from a commission split standpoint. Actually, I would say that is one of the best models out there from my knowledge base. Now, what do you get for that $85 a month cloud brokerage fee? In my opinion, you get a lot. And here's just a snippet of the things that you get. Again, I told you about the eXp world and all the ongoing support and access to your brokers, as well as technical support and the training. But also included in that is our contact management system and our online marketing system, which is called KV Core. And I'm going to dive deeper into KV Core in one of the next slides. But that is a very robust contact management system, as well as a online marketing platform. You get what we call SkySlope, and that's your where all your forms are located, all your state associated and eXp specific documents are located for your buyers and your sellers. And it's all cloud-based and it's all paperless. So it's a very robust transaction management system that you don't have to print copies and drive around town to get signatures. You just populate the whatever forms you need and email them to your clients, and then they digitally sign them and return them via email, and then you proceed with your transactions and your escrows as usual. You also have access to Canva's enterprise product, where there is thousands of customizable marketing and branded templates for you. So this is a plug and play. It's a digital product, but you can print if you want to, or send these marketing documents or digital marketing assets out via email, social media, website, however you choose to market your services and your listings, and etc. Canva is a very powerful platform, and you have free access to these eXp branded templates that you can enter your information, and it's pretty much done for you already. You just have to enter your information, and they're pretty much ready to go. So it's not only a money saver, but a huge time saver. And because eXp does not have any brick and mortar, any facilities or offices, we do have access, however, if you need to meet clients and you don't want to meet them at your home and you don't want to meet them at your local coffee shop, we do have access for free. This is included in your $85 a month brokerage fee. You do have access to the Regus corporate suites there's over 3,000 offices throughout the United States. You do have access to those free of charge. If you wanted your own office, you'd have to pay it. There's a little upcharge for that. However, if you want to access the general areas to meet clients, or to, it's a great lead generation source as well, because many times there's other professional businesses who are operating out of these co-working spaces who may become clients because of your proximity, doing your business in the same building as they are. So that's available to you. We talked already about all the live and on-demand training that's available through eXp World and eXp University, and associated and integrated into your KV Core CRM and online marketing platform is your IDX WordPress eXp brokered website that's individualized to you, and you can individualize that as you see fit, but it's integrated to the MLS, so your listings are there. You can market other eXp agents listings through there. It's a very powerful website, and as I said, it's integrated in a KV Core, which I'm going to talk about in a couple slides. Additionally, what's available, and this is not included in your monthly fee, but it's at a voluntary charge, but eXp is sensitive to the fact that many, up to about 35% of agents, as according to the National Associated of Realtors, go without health insurance in any given year. And eXp is very sensitive to that and feels that they could provide a good option, a low cost, low deductible healthcare option for eXp agents if needed. So this is a great benefit to those who don't have access to healthcare otherwise, and it's very cost effective to the agents who utilize it. And if I didn't mention it already, included with that that transactional income and your $85 a month brokerage fee, you do not pay desk fees. There are no royalties fees to pay, and there are no franchise fees. So the slide that you saw with your 80-20 commission split and your $16,000 annual cap, as well as your $149 startup fee and your $85 a month cloud brokerage fee and your $25 transaction review fee, along with your $60 per transaction E&O insurance fee. That's all there is. There are no additional fees other than what you would bring to bear about your marketing and building your individual business. But associated payment to eXp, there is nothing else. So pillar number 2, and I call this 2A, is for a reason, and I'll tell you that in a second, but is lead generation. This is another pillar on how to generate income. And I'm highlighting on this slide the KV Core platform that I briefly discussed. However, there's about and then there's several additional lead generation platforms that eXp offers for agents to build and build and nurture clients. eXp, as I said, is a contact management database and a marketing platform, and it's very robust. It takes about 3 or 4 weeks to really get a hold of how powerful and learn how to navigate it. But once you learn how to navigate it, it's very simple to use. You just have to learn how the process works. There's AI capabilities to nurture engagement with your leads, your sphere of influence. You can generate business through all the lead generation tools. Once you get a listing, you're able to, through this platform, upload the listing to the MLS seamlessly, as well as market it via many avenues, social media, all the different social media platforms out there. You can do Facebook's ads, you could do Facebook ads, you could do Craigslist ads, you can post to all the other social media channels you want to. There are landing pages that you could develop for not only your listings, but to create buyers funnels and seller funnels and agent attraction funnels. So it's pretty much unlimited and up to the ingenuity and of the agent to really utilize this very powerful platform. And as said, this is included in your your monthly brokerage fee. And if you were paying for this on your own, this platform costs about $550 a month. So that's a annual value that you're getting of about $6,600 that this would cost if you're paying out of pocket as an individual agent. But again, because of eXp's large group, we're able to provide it to our agents at a very cost-effective manner. As I said, there's other lead generation platforms available, from relocation services to real estate owned / foreclosure services. There's if someone had to move unexpectedly, like if you were in the military or something, there's a platform for that. There's an institutional buyer platform, where there will be, if your client, if your seller needed a cash offer in a short amount of time, for example. And there's a multitude of lead generation platforms that you could engage yourself in and specialize in. There's also a vast network of industry leading vendors and services and tools available that you could present yourself as an industry leader and provide cost effective and seamless services to support your activity as either a buyer's or a seller's agent. And there's a multitude of other things that we've talked about the lead generation and marketing and business intelligence. That eXp just has a multitude of services and platforms and tools to help you grow as an individual, and if you decide to build out a team to help you in that area as well. Now, pillar 2B is also lead generation related, but this is not specific to eXp. This lead generation model is specific to me and my team that I'm building. And it's through, and I told you earlier that I'm a probate and trust specialist. And I've received extensive training throughout the years and experience in probate real estate transactions. So there are a few situations that are recession proof in real estate sales, and they deal with death, divorce, and you could probably put job relocation in that category. But specifically to probate, when someone dies and owns property and their estate goes through probate, there are specific legalities and timelines that have to be achieved through the probate process to be able to liquidate the asset, i.e. the real estate, and change the house or the property into its monetary equivalent, and then proceed to final distribution so the heirs and beneficiaries can receive their inheritance. And there's multiple ways to do it, but the training that I received was from a gentleman who that was his primary business model, was probate transactions. He initially developed it. He's an agent from my geographical area in Northern California, in the Bay Area. And in the mid 90s, he started to specialize specifically in probate sales. And that was pretty much about 98% of his business was probate specific transactions. And that's what his farming was probate, the executors and administrators of probates estates. And he became very successful in this lead generation model. And he found that it was recession proof and there was always consistent business. And off that business, there was multiple income opportunities when you get control of a probate property. This gentleman has recently passed away, and I received his training starting back in 2004 when I started selling real estate. But his son, who's in my age demographic, has learned from him since the inception, learned directly from his father, and is also currently primarily focusing on probate transaction in his real estate practice, but is teaching this model to agents across the nation. And him and I are business partners. I'm on his team, and there's a few ways that you could gain access to this training. Option one is you just pay for the training manual and receive some introductory training, which includes some training videos and some scripts to overcome objections and just some basic information on how to deal with an executor or an administrator of an estate of somebody who passed away on who owns real estate and they want to sell the real estate. And that's about a $500 investment. The other way is to get a lot more in-depth training, where it's a $10,000 investment, where you would receive the same things that I mentioned, the educational materials in the form of the manual, the videos, the scripts, objection handlers, as well as some in-depth consultation with Gary, my business partner, the expert. And then you'll be on your own. And this is for people who do not transfer from their current brokerage into eXp. Now, the easy and more cost-effective way to do it is to be sponsored by me and come into eXp and pay the $149 startup fee and the ongoing $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. And you'll get everything that I just mentioned and ongoing support if you just come in and become sponsored by me. You will receive all the training, the guidance, and hands-on assistance with procuring and closing these unique transactions. We do these deals together, and me and Gary and the rest of the team would mentor you throughout your first several probate transactions until you exhibit proficiency in these transactions, because they're very different than your standard real estate transaction because of all the legal documents and the timelines that are needed with the court confirmation and so forth. But in addition to that, you will receive weekly leads to probates in your area. And you could contact the estates directly to gain business, just as you would if you were farming a neighborhood. Additionally, you would have access to our network of attorneys and paralegals, transaction coordinators, and title companies who have expertise in probate transactions specifically. As I indicated, these are very different than your standard real estate transaction. There's different timelines and various required documents that need to be obtained to at every step of the probate process for you to be able to list a property, to enter into a purchase agreement, and then go into escrow, and eventually sign the grant deed to transfer the property. So if you're interested in this, you should schedule a discovery call with me and we can talk about it further, and I'll have that information a little later in the presentation. But again, this probate farming, this probate lead generation model that I'm speaking of is specific to me and my group, and I'd love to talk to you further about it and give you some more specific details. Pillar number 3, as we move along in this presentation, is the equity ownership that I briefly touched on, and how to gain equity in a publicly traded company through your production efforts and some voluntary purchase of the stock. Now, eXp is a publicly traded stock on the NASDAQ with the symbol EXPI. And there's a few ways to increase your revenue streams and plan for retirement. This is a great way to do it because the stock is growing, and it's only expected and projected by stock industry experts that the stock price is gonna continue to blossom as the brokerage continues to grow and maintain its leadership in this industry. So there's three ways to earn or buy stock, and one way is through your incentive program. And there's a few ways that you could gain stock through incentives. So when you become a eXp agent, after you close your first transaction, eXp just automatically, and this does not come out of your commission, eXp just automatically buys you $200 worth of stock after you close your first transaction at no expense to you. And then when you hit your cap of that $16,000 cap, eXp, again, at no expense to you, buys you another $400 worth of stock. And then when you sponsor an agent on your, we'll call first line, and I'll talk about that in a minute, when you sponsor that first agent and they close their first transaction, that's another $400 that eXp buys you at no expense to you. So 3 ways to earn that through some milestones. And then there's the agent equity commission program. You can voluntarily enroll to receive 5% of your net commissions from your closed transactions. So from your closed transactions, 5% of your gross commissions can be go towards purchase of EXPI stock. And I might add that would be purchased at a 5% discount. So the company is also benefiting you to buy more stock for less price. And then roughly about 65% of agents participate in this program. And then lastly, you can earn stock equity by becoming an icon agent. I'm going to talk about icon agent in, I think, the next slide, but this is a milestone where you would achieve a certain production level, and that $16,000 cap I talked about earlier, once you receive this production level, that $16,000 that you paid eXp, they're going to give it right back to you in the form of EXPI stock. Again, no expense to you. The only thing you did was reach a commission production milestone. So these are the 3 ways to earn stock equity and ownership of this brokerage, and plan and build for your eventual retirement. So Icon Award is a production leaderboard, and it's a very prestigious award or attainment level earned by 200 to 300 agents per year in this brokerage. And this slide says a lot, but I'll paraphrase it for you. To achieve Icon Award status, you need to have $500,000 in gross commissions with the minimum of 10 transactions. $500,000 in gross commissions with a minimum of 10 transactions. Or the other way to do it is when you reach that $16,000 cap, close 20 sides after that in 1 year. So you have basically it's to cap at $16,000, 20% commission would equal $80,000 gross commission. And then you, after you achieve that within that calendar year, you would have to have 20 additional closed transaction sides representing buyers and sellers. So those are the two ways to achieve icon status and get that $16,000 stock equity awarded to you. So 2 for 1, you get the designation of icon award agent, which is a huge milestone in itself, but also there's a monetary reward as well. Now, pillar number 4, and this is very powerful, is revenue share. And this is pretty much where you could earn like a broker without being a broker. And I'm going to show you how in a minute. So in your traditional brokerage, brokers get paid on net income because there's income that comes into the brokerage, but then they have to pay all their overhead expenses, rent, there's commission split, all their insurances, all the infrastructure inside the brokerage, the support staff, all the liability insurance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then what's left over, that's what they get paid off of, right? Whereas as an eXp agent, you get paid off your gross revenue after your 20% commission split that you give to eXp. A traditional brokerage, if you bring an agent into the brokerage, whether you're a broker or you're building your own team, then you're only getting paid off of that agent under you one level deep. You're getting a portion of their income, whatever model it happens to be, but it's only one level deep. Whereas in an eXp situation, you're compensated on the production of all the agents that are attracted into eXp and the attraction efforts of those agents that are 7 levels deep. And I'm going to show you that in the next slide, in one of the next slides. It's very powerful. In a traditional brokerage, you're just paid out of the brokerage that broker operates out of, because the brokerages are demographically located. It's usually a franchise base. So your earning potential as a traditional broker is limited on geography. Whereas as an eXp agent, you're paid across all 50 states and all countries. As an example, if I sponsored an agent in another state, it doesn't matter. I sponsored him. That agent could be working be under another state broker's license. He'd still be in my downline in one of my levels, and I'd still get paid off of their production level. Likewise, if I sponsored an agent in this state and that agent sponsored someone in another state or another country, I'd still get a portion of that agent's production. So there's no state line limitations as well as no country limitations. Just as long as you sponsor that agent or the agents that you sponsor those agents in those other states or countries, you receive income for those for their production efforts. And what I forgot to mention is that in an eXp situation, if you are an agent who has a state license in multiple states, you don't have to pay an extra fee, any extra fees. Let's say you belong to a traditional franchise type of broker that's bound by jurisdictional or demographic areas. And I'm just going to use, say, Keller Williams in California and Keller Williams in Washington State. You would have to pay your brokerage fee in California, or you would have to pay a fee to be in whatever fees are associated with Keller Williams in California. And then you would have to pay whatever fees are associated in Washington State. In an eXp situation, you would only, because eXp is brokered nationwide and there are no demographic limitations, you would just have to pay your one-time $149 startup fee and your $85 a month cloud-based brokerage fee, and those transactional fees that I talked about would be your only expenses for both conducting transactions in California as well as Washington. So I hope that makes sense. And then back to, I'm sorry for the digressing, I forgot to mention that earlier, but in a traditional brokerage, you're also limited to extensive overhead and capital outlays, whereas in eXp, there's no overhead or capital outlays. Likewise, traditional brokerages, you have extensive legal liability. None of that is in existence in eXp. There's no management of agents or supervision of agents in eXp. And in a traditional brokerage, the broker does not share any of their revenues with their agents. Whereas, and this is a super important point that I'm going to highlight in the next slide, eXp, when they get their 20% shares, they share 50% of that with the revenue share program that goes directly back to those agents. So let's talk about that very quickly. So again, here we have the 80% commission split, 20% commission split, 80% to the agent, 20% to the eXp. And that 20% caps at $16,000. So of that $16,000 cap, 50% goes to the revenue share program and 50% goes to eXp for their other purposes to operate eXp. So again, the agent pays 0% of their commission to fund revenue share. They keep all their 80%. And then eXp, of that $16,000 eXp gets of your cap commission, $8,000 goes back into the revenue share program. And then they do what they do with the other $8,000. And this is a self-sustaining business plan because it keeps funding the revenue share program. And as Kevin O'Leary, who's also known as Mr. Wonderful on the Shark Tank, the agents get paid out in perpetuity. I've always wanted to say that word, perpetuity. It's a true residual income stream. Pretty powerful. So here's a chart of the revenue share program and how it works. And on the top, in the blue bar on the top, where you have the 0-4 in one column and the 5-9 in the other column and so forth, those are for frontline qualifying agents. FLQA stands for frontline qualifying agents. So from 0 to 4 agents, once you bring 1 to 4 qualifying agents on your front line who cap, you're going to receive those percentages in each of those tiers. And the tiers go 7 levels deep. But to get to the 7th level, you have to sponsor more agents on your front line. But you can see just by looking at this, how powerful this can be and how lucrative this can be if you build out your front line and each one of your frontline agents builds out their front line and so forth and so on. It just grows exponentially as you go down the levels. Okay. And again, none of this revenue share comes out of the agent's commission, 80% commission split. It all comes out of eXp's 20% commission split. Now, this is pretty profound and it could get a little confusing, but let's just say that you sponsored 5 agents on your first line, you just sponsored 5 agents directly. And each one of those agents capped and paid their $16,000 to eXp through their 20% commission split. That would give you an annual income of $20,000 extra dollars a year. But now let's say that those 5 agents each sponsored 5 of their own agents, so that there's in your tier 2, there is 25 agents. You have 5 agents in your tier 1, and now each one of those 5 agents each sponsored 5 agents of their own on their tier 2, on their tier 1. Now in your tier 2, you have 25 total agents. And then each one of those agents is going to give produce, when they cap, an extra $1,600 that goes to you directly. And that would equal an additional $40,000 per year. So that $20,000 from your tier 1 agents and that $40,000 from your tier 2 agents would equal a theoretical $60,000 in annual income. Now, let me ask you a question. What would $60,000 a year or an extra $5,000 a month do for you and your household? Would that take some pressure off in terms of paying your mortgage or paying your automobile payment or paying for private school or paying for a family vacation or just time freedom to do the things that you want to do? And I'll even ask you another question. Let's just say that was half of that. And maybe instead of that $5,000 a month, maybe you only had about $2,000 to $3,000 extra a month. Would that help with any of those ongoing monthly expenses? Just from sharing the opportunity with agents who you talk to on a daily basis anyway? See, agent attraction is just very similar to what you do with buyers and sellers on a daily basis. You're uncovering their needs, wants, goals, desires, and objectives related to the sale and purchase of real estate. But when you're talking to those buyers and sellers representatives, your fellow real estate agents, how hard is it to share your experience with eXp? How hard is it to ask them if they're happy with their current brokerage model? And how hard is it to show them the power of becoming and earning brokerage type of money without the overhead, liability, and headaches of being a broker? Now, this previous chart I showed you was pretty busy and maybe very confusing. I know it is to me. Go ahead and text grow, the word grow, GRW, to area code 510-369-5080 and for immediate access to a 10-minute explainer video about eXp, as well as a detailed explanation about this compensation plan that I just went over. And you could go ahead, if you want more information, go ahead and schedule a discovery call with me. After you text that number and gain access to that video, there'll be an opportunity for you to schedule a discovery call with me. So moving on, if you are looking to grow personally as well as grow your business, if you want to own your own business rather than working like an employee and keeping more of your hard-earned money, if you want to build a community and be part of a growing community to collaborate with industry leaders, as well as build your own team and build your own business the way that you envision it, if you want access to the top-notch technology and innovation and modern day business models and tools, and if you want to find that freedom in your business to live life on your terms, if you want to grow and succeed, I would love to have a discovery call discussion with you. Again, you could text GROW to 510-369-5080. You can email me. You can go to my website. But however you do it, I'd love to talk to you, and I look forward to it. I hope this presentation was helpful and it explained the why agents are just joining this leading brokerage in masses. Not only individual agents are coming, but agents are bringing their entire teams with them because of the power, not only of the freedom and the business model and the compensation model, but because of the ability to earn more per transaction, earn stock equity in a growing and profitable publicly traded company, as well as build a passive leverage residual stream of income. So with that, I'm going to end the presentation. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you. God bless.